Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and we're back with another review. And as I mentioned, we're taking a little break from the Transformer 1 toys to take a look at Chaos Terran Aftermath. This was, as of right now, exclusive to Takara Tomy and their EarthSpark line. And apparently, this is the first, if not only, Decepticon Terran. Um, First of all, can I just say Aftermath? What a great name. I mean, that's a great name for like a metal band, an album, a bad guy, and I like how instead of just saying it's a Decepticon, it's a Chaos Terran. Just really cool stuff here. Now, I did just say that as of this recording, it is an exclusive to Takara Tomy. Well, if you remember when we reviewed Hashtag, that was recorded on a Tuesday. Well, between Tuesday and today, which is Thursday, my time, August 1st, on Wednesday, the Twitter account of Pre-Eternia, which helps let people know when there are deals on figures, stuff goes up for pre-order, they shared a picture from somebody else that Hasbro at San Diego Comic-Con did have the EarthSpark line on display, but there was no promotion for it. But they did show Deluxe Jawbreaker and Deluxe Aftermath. So at least those two might be released by Hasbro. As you know, the account mentioned, this isn't getting reported because nobody really, most sites really don't care about EarthSpark. Now, just because Hasbro has the intent to release it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to. Um, if stores won't take the product, I don't know what they're going to do. Could end up at Ollie's, but that's just rampant speculation. But as of right now, if you want Aftermath, you have to get it through import means like Amazon Japan. We're starting off in a vehicle mode, a very Mad Maxy. Well, actually, not Mad Maxy. This is a lot like um, oh god, that video game. It just went out of my mind, but it's the one with the armorized vehicles uh, going through Metal Slug. So it looks like very aggressive, but it has some soft curves here that gives it a little bit of a chibi design. Um, oh, for Pete's sake, I wish I could think of that game. I hate this when it happens, and it goes right through my brain. Um, not well, Metal Slug. Well, that's Metal Slug looks very chibi. That's why it's uh, and right when I'm done, it's going to come to me. And they just did like a show with it or a movie that was on like Hulu or Amazon Prime with Anthony Mackie. Uh, anyway, but it's very aggressive, but with some soft angles. What I also appreciate is that the tow hook here, you have some play with it. You can swing it from here, rotate it at the. Oh, that does come out. You can rotate it there at the base, so it can actually become a bit of a weapon, and it rotates here. That's a lot more than we've seen in a tow truck in a very long time. So yeah, really not much more to say about it. This is actually, believe it or not, a very involved transformation. Not too complicated once you figure out what's going on. As always, the instructions make it look a little harder than it is. But the first thing you want to do is come to the cab here, and you're going to lift this up. And then what you might go ahead and do, and again, why they have this as two steps, I'll never know, but it accordions back and sits back on the hook. Speaking of which, you want to grab the hook part and just rotate it around like that. Then what we're going to do is rotate this whole section around. So now the hook is facing towards the front of the truck. That will give us a little bit of space here to come to the back and lift up the hips ever so slightly, untabbing what will be the legs from that section right there. Now, I got to say, they don't tab in. It's like they sit there, but once you have everything lined up, it should be fine. At this point, you can go ahead and separate the rear section. You're going to reach in here, and what was the exhaust pipe is now going to be the blaster in robot mode. So you can put that off to the side. I do like how it's integrated. Flip the foot down, rotate it so that the toe part uh, faces forward. So the toe is the section that has the peg hole closer to the front. Now, the instructions are a little weird about this. What you want to do is um, rotate the the leg back on this inner like double hinge knee joint while bringing it forward on the proper knee, but keep the leg back and elevated. Um, now there is a little tab here when going back to vehicle mode that sits on the inside of this inner wheel panel, just so you know. But just go ahead and do that. And then what you can do is fold that panel in, and it'll tab just like so. Um, Bring the hips back so that the figure's starting to get upright, and then just basically straighten out the leg. Get that panel down just like so. There you go. The instructions make it look a little more complicated than it is, but it's not that bad. So now we're going to bring the figure around to the front. And by the way, I do like now we have that hazard detail on the toe. Very nice. What you want to do is grab these side panels. They peg into the side there, and there's also a little tab there. So just undo those two tabs and then rotate it around. Don't flip it around. And by the way, when going back to vehicle mode, it's very important to note that you're only rotating at the elbow joint, which is a ball joint. There's also a swivel at the bicep. That can be a little complicated, so when going back, you might want to grab a hold of that joint right there. Next, what you want to do is using the tab right there at the tip of the hinge, uh, flip out the fist, and that will soft snap into place. Straighten the arms down, and what we're going to do is now separate the front. And that's going to untap from there and swing out. Now, when going back to vehicle mode, let me just point out, you'll see some tabs right there. All the way on the side of the joint, there's the slot that it's going to go into. That can get a little tricky. You want to make sure both of these line up, kind of like you're doing it at the same time and going into that slot, well, the respective slots, I should say, because if what you could end up doing is um, causing the arms to tab in crooked. Let me see if I got this. See, that's basically how it's supposed to look. So it's even. But if one's a little off, you'll have this front grill off to the side. So just open that up, bring them out to the side, just like that. At this point, bring your figure in, push up on the head. We're not bringing the chest down yet. Um, Rotate this section down slightly as you rotate the arms into position. Bring the panel chest down, bring the arms down. Basically, then make sure you have this in position. You can just bring that back. This actually does that is that meant to tap into place there? Oh yeah, there is like a little tab section, so that will help hold the chest into place. And that's how you'll know you'll have it lined up, because there's also the tabs here on the side. So, you got everything for the most part lined up. It doesn't hold, but it holds enough, if that makes sense. We're going to talk about that hook in a second. And then finally, to finish this off, rotate in on the ball joint there behind the wheel to bring the arms forward. And there's Aftermath in its robot mode. Now, you can see that this is actually meant to stay up. I mean, the instructions show it up like this, and maybe you can bring it over the head, like a little attack mode or something. I don't know. And again, that does come off. So if you want to pop it in the wrist there, little hook weapon, or have them hold it, you can do that. So yeah, but you can also like bring it back a little so it just hangs out of the way. And I'm noticing this is kind of like it's still like unpaid. But like I said, again, soft plastic, kind of like just you know doesn't it holds but not well. The gun is meant to be held in the hand, or if you want to be a little cooler, you can peg it into the side of the forearm. Now, in terms of articulation, you do have a ball joint here. Unfortunately, the back section and the design of the shoulders does prevent the arm from going all the way back without folding it out like that. But I think with the elbow, working in tandem with the elbow, you can get some good forward facing poses. You do have, like I said, the bicep swivel as well as the elbow swivel. Um, be careful just rotating things out of whack. The space there wants to face inward. You do have a waist section, which is kind of cool. You have the hips, and then of course you have the knee. So you have that really is the knee section, but then you have that transformation joint. So if you want, you could use it, but it's up to you. It's funny, for some reason I thought Aftermath was going to be a lot taller than it is. And then the head is on a rather expressive ball joint. Get a little side to side waggle out of it. There you go. And close up of the head. Not bad. Again, very aggressive looking. So there is that. Just I'm still like fiddling with this, trying to get it in. So like, uh, the things I do for you guys. But yeah, I mean, it sits. I mean, it could be just it is a little humid out today, so that could be affecting the plastic, or I've missed something terribly uh, in terms of the transformation and what have you. But like I said, it'll hold. So yeah, not a bad figure. I kind of dig it. I'm not familiar with the character, uh, just because I haven't watched the show, but this looks kind of cool, and I like the fact that they, um, were did go the route of making some of the Terrans bad. Um, I'm curious now to see what the story was, but you know, we'll see. Now, like I said, so there we go, and there. So yeah. So how about we pause and we come back with my final thoughts. Okay, so Aftermath, I think it's a fun figure. Um, like I said, the transformation is a bit more involved than I've experienced on any of the other EarthSpark Deluxes, maybe with the exception of Starscream, but then again, that was a carryover from the Cybertron line. Uh, Once you know what you're doing, it's not that difficult. I really like the playability with the tow hook. That's kind of cool, and just being able to have the different weapons and stuff. And eh, there we go, fixing the gun there. uh, the colors are nice. The metallic purple pops very nicely. Um, but again, let me just add that if you want an Aftermath right now, um, you'll have to go to Japanese importers like Amazon Japan, who right now that's the only place I know that has it in stock or will have it in stock again in the future. I don't even think Big Bad Toy Store is carrying the EarthSpark line anymore. Um, that's not to say you might be able to get it from Hasbro at some point, but then again, we by the time we get an official word one way or the other, like if they come out and say this isn't going to be sold here, then we run there's going to be the risk that this will shoot up in value and you might just be priced out of owning it, if that makes sense. So you can take the chance of waiting or spend a little more on shipping now to make sure you have it. Also, I'm pretty sure that the deco is going to be very different on the Hasbro release, just because you know the out of the four EarthSpark Deluxes I got from Takara from Amazon Japan, there were price differences, and as we know, Takara will, they're not locked into a wave price. They will price the figures individually based on deco and stuff like that, which is one of the reasons it's sometimes very hard to import uh, exclusive Takara products because they just don't fit into the price points that Hasbro has established. So I hope I've given you enough information to decide whether or not you want to dip in on this figure. Again, I like it. I appreciate the transformation. It's really a cool thing, the way the legs come up and all that, the fold inward. I was surprised, I'll say it again, that it wasn't bigger, but that could just be me. But yeah, if you that's about it. So if you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe. Well, I always appreciate the views, the likes, comments, and subscriptions help to communicate to YouTube through the algorithm that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. Want to make the ultimate sign of support. I do have a Patreon. It is www.patreon.com/truckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you to help me help you bring figures like Aftermath to you, as well as keeping up the infrastructure of the channel. But as I always say, if you can't afford $1 a month or $12 a year, your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous Sunday. And but let me also put in a special message that if you're here strictly for the Transformers 1 reviews, and these new EarthSpark reviews, please do subscribe. I've mentioned this before, and I'll keep mentioning it, that the algorithms inform me that 81 to 88% of my views come from people who aren't subscribed to the channel. And besides missing out on some fun stuff, that actually can affect my placement in the algorithm. So there's that. But that's about it. Once again, this is your old pal Chuck for Chaos Terran Aftermath. We will see you next time.